Right now, something extraordinary is unfolding in the invisible architecture of the universe. Most people cannot see it, most people cannot feel it, but the cosmos is moving, and when it moves in certain ways, it quietly shifts the emotional timelines of human lives. Across the sky, the immense presence of Jupiter, the planet long associated with expansion, destiny, and higher wisdom, is activating a powerful energetic shift. And when Jupiter begins influencing the emotional fabric of our lives, something unusual happens. Connections that seemed finished sometimes begin to stir again. Memories long buried beneath time and distance can resurface without warning. People who believe they had moved on may suddenly feel something they cannot easily explain. A thought, a memory, a name appearing in their mind unexpectedly. But here is the strange part. Somehow, out of millions of possible moments today, you were drawn here. You could have been watching anything else, scrolling somewhere else, listening to a different voice. Yet you arrived here, at this exact message, at this exact moment. In spiritual traditions connected with astrology, moments like this are rarely seen as coincidence. Sometimes the universe guides people toward certain messages at the exact moment they need them. And if you are hearing this now, it may be because something in your own emotional timeline is beginning to shift as well. Take a moment and think about how strange life can be. Millions of people exist in the world, each living their own story, each moving through their own emotional experiences. And yet sometimes certain moments appear in our lives that feel strangely timed. Moments when a message appears exactly when we needed it. Moments when something we were not even searching for suddenly feels deeply personal. That is the feeling many people describe when they experience alignment. Alignment is not about predicting the future. It is about recognizing when your awareness intersects with something meaningful. And often, cosmic movements like those connected with Jupiter can coincide with these moments of awareness. Jupiter's energy is often described as expansive. It magnifies emotions, realizations, and truths that have been quietly building beneath the surface. And when those truths begin to rise, people often find themselves reflecting on relationships from their past. Someone they haven't thought about in a long time. A conversation they wish had ended differently. A connection that once felt powerful, but somehow slipped away. If you have recently felt memories resurfacing, or if someone from your past has unexpectedly crossed your mind, you are not alone. These emotional waves often appear during powerful cosmic transitions. Sometimes they are simply reminders, other times they are invitations to look at the past from a new level of awareness. In astrology, certain planetary movements are believed to influence emotional cycles in subtle ways. And right now, the movement of Jupiter is creating a powerful energetic shift that many astrologers describe as a timeline expansion. Jupiter is not a quiet planet. It is the largest planet in our solar system, and symbolically it represents growth, wisdom, and the expansion of truth. When Jupiter activates emotional patterns in a person's life, it tends to magnify what already exists beneath the surface. That means hidden feelings may begin to surface. Unfinished emotional chapters may return to awareness, and connections that once seemed distant may suddenly feel close again in memory. Astrologers often explain that Jupiter does not create emotions out of nothing. Instead, it amplifies what was already there. If a connection once carried deep meaning, Jupiter's influence can sometimes bring that meaning back into focus. For some people, this may appear as dreams about someone they haven't seen in years. For others, it may come through unexpected thoughts during quiet moments, or perhaps a sudden curiosity about someone who once played an important role in their life. These experiences do not always mean something dramatic will happen, but they often signal that an emotional timeline is being revisited from a new perspective. Before we go deeper into what this cosmic shift could mean, take a moment to pause. Sometimes simply acknowledging a moment of awareness can make the message more powerful. If you feel that something in this message resonates with you, write in the comments, "I am ready for the truth." These simple words are more powerful than they appear. They represent openness. They represent willingness to see emotional situations clearly without fear or confusion. And they also create a shared space where people from all over the world can reflect on their experiences together. While you are here, make sure you are subscribed to the channel, because we regularly explore cosmic events, spiritual insights, and the deeper patterns connecting our lives with the movements of the universe. Many viewers return to these messages because they often arrive at exactly the right moment. Sometimes the message you hear today becomes the clarity you need tomorrow. So take a moment, breathe, and prepare yourself. Because the deeper layers of this cosmic shift reveal something many people are not expecting. Sometimes the person who suppressed their emotions the most is the one who begins to awaken first. To understand why emotional timelines sometimes reopen, we need to understand the symbolic role of Jupiter. In astrology, Jupiter is often described as the planet of expansion and truth. Wherever Jupiter moves, it tends to magnify energy. It expands ideas, it expands opportunities, and sometimes it expands emotions that people believed were already resolved. Imagine emotions like seeds planted beneath the soil. Over time, they may appear forgotten. But under the right cosmic conditions, those seeds can suddenly begin to grow again. Jupiter's influence often creates those conditions. This does not mean the universe is forcing relationships to return. Instead, it often brings clarity. People begin to see past situations differently. They recognize things they did not understand before. They remember details they once ignored. And sometimes the person who once walked away begins to understand the depth of the connection they left behind. This is one of the most mysterious aspects of emotional growth. Understanding does not always arrive immediately. Sometimes it arrives years later, when someone has grown enough to finally see the truth. And when that realization begins to surface, it can feel almost like the past is knocking on the door again. Somewhere in the world right now, someone is remembering you. This may be someone who once shared a meaningful connection with you, someone who once felt something real, but was not ready to face the depth of those emotions. At the time, life may have pulled them in another direction. Responsibilities, fears, timing, or circumstances may have convinced them that moving on was the easier path, so they buried their feelings. They told themselves the connection wasn't as important as it felt. They tried to silence the part of their heart that remembered you. But emotional truth has a strange way of waiting patiently. And when cosmic cycles like those involving Jupiter begin shifting the emotional landscape, suppressed memories can slowly return. It might start with a simple thought, a familiar place that reminds them of you, a song that suddenly brings back a memory, or a quiet moment where they realize they never fully understood what that connection meant. These realizations rarely arrive all at once. Instead, they unfold slowly, like pieces of a puzzle coming together. And sometimes, The person experiencing this awakening begins to understand that certain connections were never meant to be forgotten. Moments like these, when emotions from the past begin resurfacing, can be both powerful and confusing. Many people find themselves wondering, why am I thinking about this person again? Why are these memories returning now? That is exactly why I created something called the 7-Day Emotional Reset Audio Guide. It is a short daily listening practice designed to help people process emotional memories, release unresolved feelings, and reconnect with their inner clarity. Many listeners use it during periods when cosmic cycles, especially those connected with Jupiter, begin stirring emotional awareness. Instead of feeling overwhelmed by memories, the guide helps you understand them. It helps you reflect on what those experiences taught you. And most importantly, it helps you move forward with peace rather than confusion. If you feel that old emotional chapters are resurfacing in your life, you can find the 7-Day Emotional Reset Audio Guide in the description below. Sometimes a little reflection is all we need to transform emotional uncertainty into personal growth. Now let's continue, because the deeper layers of this cosmic shift reveal something even more fascinating. Human emotions are incredibly complex. People often believe that when a relationship ends, the emotional connection disappears completely. But that is not always how the heart works. Sometimes people walk away not because the connection lacked meaning, but because they were not ready for the intensity of it. Life continues, years pass, new experiences arrive, yet certain emotional bonds remain quietly stored in memory. Astrologers often say that cosmic movements involving Jupiter can reopen these emotional archives, not to cause chaos, but to reveal deeper understanding. During these cycles, people may begin noticing strange synchronicities, dreams about someone they haven't seen in years, random memories appearing during quiet moments, a sudden curiosity about someone they once loved. These experiences can feel mysterious, but they often represent a simple emotional truth. Some connections leave an imprint that time alone cannot erase. That imprint does not always demand reunion. Sometimes it simply invites awareness, an opportunity to understand the past with greater wisdom. And when that awareness arrives, it can change how someone sees an entire chapter of their life. Eventually, a moment arrives when the emotional puzzle becomes clear. The person reflecting on the past begins to see the connection differently. They remember the small details they once overlooked, the conversations that carried deeper meaning, the comfort they felt in someone's presence, and slowly, a realization forms. What they once dismissed may have been far more meaningful than they understood at the time. This realization can feel powerful. Sometimes it brings gratitude, sometimes regret. But most often it brings clarity. Clarity about what the connection truly represented. Astrologers often say that the expansive influence of Jupiter encourages exactly this kind of realization. It pushes people to see truth more honestly. And when emotional truth becomes clear, it is difficult to ignore. The heart begins asking questions the mind once avoided. What if that connection was real? What if the timing simply wasn't right? And what if understanding that truth now is part of personal growth? These questions mark the moment when emotional awareness transforms into emotional awakening. Once someone reaches that point of realization, a crossroads appears. Understanding the truth about a past connection creates two possible paths. The first path is reconnection. This means acknowledging the past openly and exploring whether the connection still has a place in the present. Sometimes people reach out, Sometimes they simply express what they never said before. The second path is closure. In this path, the realization itself becomes the lesson. The person accepts the emotional truth of the connection and allows both individuals to continue their journeys with greater understanding. Both outcomes are meaningful. Both represent emotional growth, and both can emerge during cosmic cycles connected with Jupiter. The universe does not force a specific outcome. Instead, it reveals the truth and allows individuals to choose how they will respond. That choice becomes part of their personal evolution. But here is something important for you to remember. Your worth is not determined by whether someone returns. Your value does not depend on another person's timing or realization. The universe does not pause your destiny while someone else figures out their feelings. Your life continues unfolding with or without their awareness. Cosmic movements involving Jupiter are not only about relationships, they are also about personal growth. They encourage people to expand their perspective, to understand their own emotional journey more clearly, and to recognize the lessons each connection brought into their lives. Sometimes the greatest transformation does not come from reunion. Sometimes it comes from realizing how much you have grown since that chapter ended. That awareness alone can be incredibly powerful, because it reminds you that every experience, even the ones that felt painful, helped shape the person you are becoming. The universe moves in cycles far greater than human timelines. Planets shift, energy changes, awareness expands. And during powerful cycles connected with Jupiter, emotional truths often return to the surface, not to reopen wounds, but to bring clarity. Sometimes people realize the depth of a connection they once overlooked. Sometimes they simply understand the past with greater wisdom. Either way, the lesson is the same. Truth has a way of finding its path back into awareness. What is real cannot remain hidden forever. And when the universe shifts the timeline, it often reveals the emotional truths that were quietly waiting to be seen. As Jupiter continues its expansive movement, you may notice small synchronicities appearing in your life. Perhaps a song plays that perfectly captures how you feel, or a random message appears that seems to speak directly to your situation. These are not accidents. In the language of the universe, they are subtle confirmations that your emotional awareness is awakening. The cosmos often communicates in quiet nudges, guiding you toward understanding and alignment. Pay attention to these moments. They are like breadcrumbs left along your path, leading you toward clarity. During this time, it's also important to honor your own emotional boundaries. While old connections and resurfacing memories can bring insights, they can also trigger unresolved feelings. Journaling, meditation, or mindful reflection can help you process these emotions without becoming overwhelmed. Ask yourself, what is this memory trying to teach me? What lesson have I not fully understood yet? By approaching these resurfacing experiences with curiosity rather than fear, you create space for growth and healing. Spiritually, Jupiter's influence is often connected to soul-level lessons. Sometimes, these resurgent emotions are not about reconnecting with someone from the past, but about recognizing patterns within yourself. Perhaps there is a fear, a habit, or a limitation that needs attention before you can move fully forward. Reflecting on past relationships can reveal where you may have unconsciously repeated certain patterns, and awareness alone begins to break this cycle. The universe is not just asking you to revisit the past, it is asking you to understand it so that your future can expand in a more conscious, empowered way. You may also find that these cosmic shifts bring opportunities for forgiveness. Forgiving yourself, forgiving others, and even forgiving situations that once felt painful can release the emotional weight you've been carrying. Forgiveness doesn't mean condoning what happened. It means freeing your own energy to align with the expansive potential Jupiter is offering. When you release old emotional blocks, you make space for new experiences, relationships, and insights to enter your life. And here is a crucial point. While Jupiter amplifies emotional awareness, it also magnifies your ability to manifest what aligns with your highest good. The universe mirrors back what you are energetically ready to receive. If you approach this time with openness, gratitude, and conscious intention, you may notice doors opening in unexpected ways, opportunities to reconnect, to heal, or to embrace a path you had not considered before. Finally, remember that timing is everything. The resurgence of old connections or memories does not mean you must act immediately. Sometimes the greatest wisdom lies in patience. Allow feelings to unfold naturally and trust that clarity will arrive in its own time. Observe the signs the universe is sending, reflect on your personal growth, and recognize that your journey is part of a much larger cosmic cycle. In essence, this Jupiter energy is inviting you to step into a higher perspective, to see your life, your relationships, and even past emotional challenges from a vantage point of growth, wisdom, and possibility. It is asking you to trust your inner guidance, to embrace your emotional awareness, and to allow the universe to teach you lessons that cannot be learned any other way. Like this video and subscribe to stay aligned with cosmic insights that help you navigate these extraordinary moments. And remember, emotional timelines are not just about the past, they are invitations to expand, awaken, and step more fully into the life you are destined to create. If this message resonated with you, write in the comments. Truth always finds its way. I read the comments, and it helps build a community of people who are exploring the deeper patterns connecting our lives with the universe. And if you found this message meaningful, take a moment to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Your support helps these messages reach more people who might need them at exactly the right moment. Sometimes a single message can arrive at the perfect time and change how someone understands their entire journey. And if you feel that emotional memories have been resurfacing in your life recently, the 7-Day Emotional Reset audio guide can help you process those feelings with clarity and peace. You will find the link in the description whenever you feel ready. Because when the universe begins shifting emotional timelines, it is not trying to confuse you. It is simply inviting you to understand the past and move forward with wisdom. Like this video and subscribe for more cosmic insights.